Good morning, grade 6. Today we're gonna start lesson 5 and 6 in unit 1. First, we're gonna start with our revision. Choose the correct answer. Number 1. We space a bus at 10:15 as we have here a time, fixed time, so we have to choose present continuous. We are watching. Number 2. The children are spaced in a football match at 2. So here already you have fixed time and this is future, so are playing. Number 3. When are Nadine and Omar? Here we have are, so you will choose verb plus ing, visiting their grandma. Number 4. We space tea with him next morning. You have here fixed time, so you will choose are having, present continuous. Number 5. When space going back to the train station. So when, helping verb. When is he going back? Today's lesson is about an island. 2 boys will have an adventure on an island. First question here, what will you do if you are on an island? What will you do? Will you swim? Will you search for new things? What will you do? And how can you return back to the land if you miss your boat? If you don't have a boat, what will you do? Will you swim to the land? What will you do? Now we're gonna see some words. Number 1, the word stared at means couldn't stop looking at. He stared at me and I was very scared. So stared at means looking at someone and couldn't stop doing that. Number 2, the verb row. The verb is row and the past is rowed. Means paddle or move the boat with oars. Number 3, splash. Okay, I will show it for you with an example. When he jumped into the pool, there was a big splash. Number 4, tie to. He tied his horse to a tree. Tie to. Number 5, in the distance mean away, and here is the example. There was an island in the distance. Okay, let's go to the second part. Smoke can be a verb and can be a noun. There is smoke coming from this building. I think there is a fire. Number 7, poru is a verb, means take something from someone after asking him. Can I borrow a pen, please? Float is a verb. It means stay on the surface of the liquid. I can say that the boat floats on the sea. Lightning and thunder. Lightning is a flash of light in the sky. Thunder, booming sound. It's a sound in the air created during stormy weather. Lightning and thunder always happening together in the sky. And the last word here is the word last. Last as a verb. I can show it or make it clear with a sentence. The storm lasted for an hour. So it continued for an hour. Take care, grade 6. Live takes the preposition on. Live on an island. And decide to plus verb stem. I cannot say I decided to eating, but I should say I decided to eat. Now let's go to our lesson. Here we are in your book, page 12. Check this story. The story is called Island Adventure. Now you will listen to the story. Please listen carefully. Okay.
Listening 9. Listen and read. Island Adventure. Max was staying with his cousin Jeff by the sea. Every day, the boys went to the beach and played football or went fishing. But
Okay, grade 6. They stayed by the sea. By the sea. It means that they stayed, yes, next to the sea. Okay, now let's complete.
one day, they stood on the sand and stared across the sea at a small island in the distance. No one lived on the island, and the boys had never been there. "I'd like to explore that island," said Max. "Let's borrow my brother's boat and go there," said Jeff. "We'll be back before he finds out." The boys rowed to the island and left the boat on the sand. They climbed trees, swam in the river, and found some caves. At last, they decided to go home. But when they went back to the boat, it wasn't there. The boys were frightened. "What are we going to do?" asked Max. "Nobody knows we're here." "Let's make a fire," said Jeff. "Someone will see the smoke." "But we haven't got any matches," said Max. "We can hit 2 rocks together to make a fire. Come on, it's easy." But it was dark before the boys had a fire. Suddenly, there was a splash of water. The boys stared across the sea. A dark shape was coming towards them. "Run!" shouted Max. "Hey," said a voice. "Don't you want to go home?" Jeff's brother was standing on the beach next to the missing boat. "How did you find us?" asked Jeff in amazement. "I saw the boat floating near the shore, so I swam out to get it. Then I saw your smoke, and I realized what happened." "That was lucky," said Jeff. "Yes, but next time," said Jeff's brother as they rowed back, "tell me before you take my boat out, and always tie it to a tree."
Okay, I hope you enjoyed the story. It was about Jeff's brother and Max and his friend. Yes, they took the boat out to the island, but the boat was missing. Now it's time to answer this question. Okay, here we are. Number 1, the man used his boat to row across the river. Number 2, my brother sometimes lets me space his bike. Lets me borrow his bike. Number 3, there was a big space when the boy jumped into the pool, so there was a big splash. Number 4, I love to sit and space at flowers and trees. Yes, stare at flowers and trees means looks at flowers and trees. Number 5, the space from the fire filled the room. Yes, the smoke from the fire. Number 6, I learned to space my shoelace when I was 4, so you learned to tie your shoelace. Number 7, ducks can space on the water, so ducks can float in the water. And the last one, you should never your brother or your sister, you should never hit your brother or sister. Now it's time to go to our sheet. Here we are in our sheet, lesson 5 and 6. I think it's page 15. Okay, let's answer. Number 1. No one left. Okay, no one left. Here we are. No one left the space, the island. We don't know anything about it. So I already said to you that no one lived on the island. Number 2. The children stood on the sand and spaced at a small island in the distance. Yes, and they stared at a small island. There was a big space when the boy jumped. We already answered it. There was a big splash. We decided to space home at night. We decided to go home at night. The man used the boat to space across the river. Yes, to row across the river. Number 6. My brother sometimes lets me his bike. Sure, he lets me borrow his bike. And you should never space your brother or sister. You should never hit your brother or sister. Ducks can space on the water. Ducks can float on the water. My parents space going to paint the kitchen. My parents, and here we have verb plus ing, so my parents equals they are. What space flags or maps? What about? It's a recommendation. And let's go to lesson 7 and 8. When they stopped and took out their fishing nets, the sky suddenly, yes, the sky suddenly went dark. Go dark means it's night time. Go dark means it's night time. Lightning flashed and there was a space of thunder. Yes, the thunder have, yes, sound. Sound of thunder. The storm space an hour. We say that the storm lasted. It means continued. Harry was very space after the adventure. Yes, Harry had the feeling of excitement, so he was excited. Yes. And let's go to the last part of this lesson. It's, yes, make a question. Number 1, Ahmed arrived at home at 3 o'clock. We will make a question using, yes, sure, using when. When, helping verb. Did Ahmed arrive at home? And don't forget to put question mark. Number 2, I have been working for 3 hours. We asking about for and since using how long. How long? And where is the helping verb? Yes, we already have here a helping verb which is have. So I will write how long have you been walking? And don't forget to put the question mark. Number 3, they visit their grandma twice a week. Okay, twice a week. You will ask using how often. To ask about how many times. How often helping verb. Do they visit their grandma? Yeah, here we are. Thank you for listening. We finished for today and meet you next time. Goodbye.